If I full screen this, I won't be able to see the chat in it. I'll have to put my chat over here. I legit need a third screen. 2 screens is not enough anymore. I used to have 3 screens on my old setup. I need to go back to 3 screens. Are we watching the Prince Andrew breakdown?
Scale disgrace.
He's a PDF in it.
Ceased to
Allegedly.
exist not through death, but through disgrace. Prince Andrew, a man you've probably seen before, was completely erased, stripped of every title, every honor, and his name
Let's make sure the sound is playing.
taken away. Now he's just
X said raw. Wait, X, you didn't know about this? Wait, I'm not breaking any news here, am I?
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, a private citizen.
Mountbatten,
Citizen that became such due to a 91% disapproval rating, which is the lowest in royal history. And the royal history, there's some of it's pretty low, so that is unbelievable. But of course, Prince Andrew is not the first in the royal family
I don't know if them
to fallen. And if patterns hold, he will not be the last. And sometimes
Level 70,
it feels
got
good
Lee.
to watch the mighty fall.
Bro said sometimes it feels good to watch the mighty fall. You know everything, raw. Hold on.
The British royal family has endured centuries of controversy since the English and Scottish crowns were united in 1603 under King James I. King Edward VIII abdicated the throne in 1936, vacating his titles, and now the former prince, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, has had every association with his family stripped from him. So there's definitely a history of scandal and a lot to unpack.
I said they disowned him.
One of the most significant findings of all of this, that transformation from being some centuries earlier through constitutional evolution, but obviously the modern loss of legitimacy and public support.
Throw him away. Ha ha.
It's been caused by the scandals.
In the bin.
Okay, guys, that's what's been happening recently with the crown. So the crown essentially shed all of its executive governmental authority between 1689 and 1911.
Thank you for the lights, Timmy.
And the modern scandals that the crown has faced have threatened something even more dangerous to the United Kingdom. That is the idea that the monarchy, which is meant to symbolize the stability, purity, and identity of the United Kingdom, is losing the faith of the people that justify its continued existence. God save the Queen! Hey, bud.
Maybe not.
How about no thanks? She died, I think. For the first time, 18 to 24-year-olds have expressed more support for an elected head of state at 42% compared to the monarchy, now at 41%, which is a shift from the 81% for the monarchy among the 65 and up demographic. So old people love the monarchy for some reason. I don't understand it.
They think they're related to them.
I'm American, so I don't understand a lot of stuff in the world. Please press the like button and feel bad for me. The National Center for Social Research, center spelled incorrectly, found that over 25% of people
Laney, get
believe that the monarchy was not
get them taps in, bro.
15% believe that it should be abolished entirely, which is
100. X10. Golly. I'm gonna put this down for now.
Agree with that. That's awesome. Younger people are increasingly less likely to support the monarchy, highlighting that the crown faces an unprecedented generational cliff. How about a generational fall off? Smoking that royalty pack. Am I right, fellow Gen Zs?
He definitely smoking on that royalty pack. What are you saying, chap? Smoking on royal pack here. I can't like I'm on 2K. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. And then you're gonna have to take over for X as well, bro. Look, even nature's getting them. Nature's getting them taps in. Yo. Bro is at 200. Golly. He's super fast, isn't it?
That was not a Nazi salute. that was me just kind of...
Laney disappeared. He vanished.
Just so you're aware. For the first time in British history, children are being raised by parents who are at the very least divided, if not actively hostile towards the monarchy. And I tell you what, this dumbass has made it a whole hell of a lot worse. He's the Arnuki beast of the royal family right there. There's an Arnuki beast. That's a real Arnuki beast, by the way. I got it from the Scooby-Doo Spooky Island set. I didn't. I lied. I'm full of shit. Prince Andrew's long and storied association with convicted sex offender and suicided evil...
Look at him. Holy, bro's having a great time. Oh, you can see his teeth, bruv. Oh, you can see his teeth. He's even scratching his wrist, like he's a bit nervous about what he's about to do. Do you get? He's like, ugh, I don't know, but my friend over there is definitely gonna pattern me, innit?
Jeffrey Epstein represents probably the most serious crises the monarchy has faced in nearly 100 years. And there has...
Yes, Naz. Are you telling me, my bro?
Some massive crises. And to be clear, it wasn't just Andrew's association that was damaging to the...
This is cold water, fam. Cold water.
The monarchy, it was the...
Mitchell said, wait 10 minutes for a dinner break. Holy, Nature said, wait for him. Bro, if you leave a can outside for 5 minutes, it's like it came out of the fridge. I think it's colder where you are still. Right, full gov, you know. Full gov is brazy. In full. Not even partly. Golly. It's been foggy as fuck. See. But it looks stunning, I can't lie. What did you send me earlier? Oh, you sent me the... that's...
slow reluctance.
I was gonna wait for Nature, but there's no one to actually co-host with in the meantime. Thank you. Oh wait, she's not even there. She said enjoy the live, and I replied on the mic, but she said it there in the chat. No, Angie, she was looking forward to this. I think she'll be here soon. I just don't want to wait too long because this is a long video, innit? And yesterday I got off at like 2 a.m. Well, way past 2 a.m.
Respond to serious allegations exposing...
Imagine my train back is at 5:45. Good luck.
Failure to understand how fucking normal people think, okay, about evil freak elites. Normal people don't like it very much. Just in case you weren't aware, Andy met Epstein in 1999 through Ghislaine Maxwell, though accounts vary on whether they'd known each other since the early 90s. There's reports of both. Flight logs show Andy traveled on Epstein's private jet in the year 2000 and...
Trying to pose this
Flight logs show Andy traveled on Epstein's private jet in the year 2000 and photographs...
Oops.
Logs show...
Date. Wait, is that May or is that December? I think it's May 12th, 2000. 9:30 a.m. Epstein, just Ghislaine, whatever her name is. Wait, one name is not there. Actually, two names are redacted. Adam Perry Lang. Who the flip is that? Prince Andrew and bodyguard. He said Andy, innit? How can they just put bodyguard? He doesn't have a name. I'm gonna just find out who Adam Berrylang is. Wait, how you spell it? Adam Berrylang's a classical trained chef. He's a chef. Barbecue expert. Wait, who's this guy? He was on the plane with them, man.
Okay, you guys, you ready to cut?
Let's cut.
Okay, so you got your knife on that
I
side?
got my knife on this side.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Wow. Uh-huh.
Okay.
I got mine. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
like-
Bro's cooking pork chops for us. These man were doing a madness. That's crazy. These man were doing madnesses. And bro's just bringing pork chops in the middle. Like, that's crazy.
Andy traveled on Epstein's private jet in the year
crazy.
2000, and photographs placed them together at Mar-a-Lago, which we all know who owns that place. Most damagingly, Epstein and Maxwell attended a party at Windsor Castle in June of 2000, celebrating 4 royal birthdays hosted by Queen Elizabeth II herself, which is evidence that the financier had penetrated the innermost royal circle. And the relationship continued even after Epstein's 2008 conviction for soliciting a minor for prostitution. Andrew visited Epstein's Manhattan mansion in December of 2010 and was photographed walking.
Man said 2 years after he got convicted for being a PDF, Andrew was chilling with him in a park. Huh?
him in Central Park. It seems like they went
nuts.
on a little date. Andrew later described this visiting as a convenient place to stay.
I'm just trying to work this out because you said you went to break up the relationship and yet you stayed at that New York mansion several days. I'm wondering how long.
But I was doing a number of other things while I was there.
But you were staying at the house of
Yes.
a convicted sex offender.
It was a convenient place to stay.
And claimed he went to break off the friend.
Oh my days, I'll never sleep on the street. What the fuck? Said, oh, it was a convenient place to stay. The PDF brother. He's like, oh yeah, no, his house is so comfy. He's got everything I want.
There were other things while I was there.
Holy.
Staying at the house of
Yes.
a convicted sex offender.
Okay,
It was
I'm
a
breathing.
convenient place.
Because of his tendency to be
But at the time, I felt it was the honourable and right thing to do.
That is the most ironically, satirically royal thing I've ever heard in my entire life, guys.
It wouldn't be honourable if I wouldn't break up the relationship with my amorphous, jelly, pedophile friend, Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Financier.
Hey, how about you don't do that, okay? From the perspective of a
Nah,
normal person,
facts though. Facts. How about you just don't stay there? My bro said,
Hey,
oh,
how about
it was convenient.
Don't do that, okay? From the perspective of a normal person, I would say if you're going to break off a friendship, why would you stay several nights and attend an Eyes Wide Shut themed dinner?
He was trying to get a last little party going on. He was trying to dip his chip a little more, do you get? He was trying to get a little last hit. You know when someone's trying to stay off the brown and the white, they're like, alright, cool, I'm a sober up, but tonight I'm going crazy. That's basically cute. He wanted the Henny. Holy. He was like, alright, cool, this is our last one. Andy.
To celebrate the release of Epstein. Like, that seems evil. That seems like an evil thing to do. That seems like something someone would choose if they're evil. His weird rationalization would come back to haunt him. The 2019 interview he did with BBC's News' Emily
Shake your
Nicholas
lost
was
leg.
terribly received, doing more harm to
Holy.
his and his family's image than good. And Andrew's visit to Epstein and the disastrous subsequent BBC interview became so notorious that it was the focus of a TV miniseries starring Michael Sheen as Andrew and Ruth Wilson as Emily Maitlis.
I
And
never
to be
watched
clear,
that.
he wasn't just defending his relationship with Epstein, he was also defending against accusations that he'd participated in the same vile crimes that Jeffrey Epstein was found guilty of. An outspoken victim of
Yeah, she
Epstein,
looks like
Virginia
him.
Giuffre, alleged in 2014 that Epstein and Maxwell trafficked her to Andrew 3 times when she was 17 years old. At Maxwell's London home in March 2001, at Epstein's Manhattan residence,
Wait,
and
hold
at
on, what?
that Epstein of. An outspoken victim of Epstein, Virginia Giuffre, alleged in 2014 that Epstein and Maxwell trafficked her to Andrew 3 times when she was 17 years old. At Maxwell's London home in March 2001,
In London?
Epstein's
Holy.
Manhattan residence, and at Epstein's private Caribbean island. A photograph
Wait,
shows
in London, in Manhattan, and in the Caribbean, these men are doing a madness all over the world. The world is their oyster, literally. Bro didn't just stay in London. He said, "I'm taking this shit to the islands, boy."
Andrew with his arm around Giuffre's waist.
Gosh. And then you said you heard about this. Yeah, I've heard about this, but I forgot the locations. I forgot it was 3 separate locations. Golly.
Maxwell visible in the background. Giuffre described Andrew as sweating profusely while dancing at London's Tramp nightclub before the alleged sexual encounter took place. So Andrew decided to speak
The
with
club was
Emily
called Tramp.
on the BBC
Oh.
in an attempt to
That's your story, bro. The club was called Tramp. Are you kidding me?
his name, but instead he destroyed his reputation through a combination of implausible alibis, tone-deaf statements, and a complete lack of empathy for the victims of Epstein, which at this point, it was really bad already. This is not something you're just like, blah, 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 blah. It's very easy if you're not guilty to just look not guilty. And he just somehow couldn't do that. Probably because, comment below, or whatever. His defense included claiming he couldn't have been sweating profusely, as Giuffre alleged, because he had a peculiar medical condition from an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War that prevented him from sweating. So
there's a slight problem with the sweating. I have a peculiar...
You can't make this shit up. They were partying in a Tramp nightclub. This brother done said, I stayed in his crib because it was convenient. Meanwhile, they had a whole party for a PDF. Now he's talking about the war flashbacks. Talking about, I can't sweat because of something that happened. I can't sweat. I have a condition, so it can't be me. How about you say you didn't do it? Oh, I can't sweat, so it can't be me because she said I was sweating. Huh? Just say you wasn't there. But he can't say that.
medical condition, which is that I don't sweat, or I didn't sweat at the time, because I had suffered what I would describe as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War when I was shot at.
And of course, he also does not ever recall meeting Giuffre.
I don't remember.
I don't recall
that photograph ever being taken.
And the picture of them together, he's not convinced
Bro's gonna say it's AI.
that it's even him in that picture, because it, you know, it looks like a much sweatier.
As me in that on her whatever it is left side. Another
thing is that it was taken upstairs, and Andrew doesn't remember going upstairs. So
I don't remember going upstairs in the house, because that photograph is taken upstairs.
I don't know if you want to believe.
How do you know upstairs is
also or not? I don't think his own family believed that shit was embarrassing. Andrew furthered his defense by saying,
imagine your own family. They're all like. Most of them on fuckery anyway. Imagine your own family listen to this. They're like, yeah, we have to disown them still. Nah, we can't deal with this. But don't you remember when my man did this and you lied for him? Yes, but this one, he can't be saved. He can't be saved.
He couldn't have been.
He would not make it
because he was at Pizza Express in another place with his daughter Beatrice.
I was with the children. I'd taken Beatrice to Pizza Express in Woking for a party at a...
Recalling this event...
Hold on. When did this happen? In the 90s or in the early 2000s? How does he know he was at Pizza Express with his... What?
His alibi with suspicious specificity. He said,
bringing your daughter into his skit. And then he just brought her into the lie. Like, what? He said, no, I was actually with my daughter eating some pizza. What?
Pizza Express is an unusual thing for him to do.
Going to Pizza Express in Woking is an unusual thing for me to do.
Those are real quotes that this guy, this actual guy belonging to a royal family, an elite,
So why would we believe
the top
this?
of the top in the world, one of the most powerful, probably not, a relatively powerful guy, is saying these things in defense of being associated with a pedophile and being alleged as a perpetrator by a confirmed victim. Most damningly, Andrew refused to express any regret of his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein because of, and I quote, the opportunities that I was given to learn either by him or because of him.
And the reason being is that the...
Nah, this is the whole Diddy thing all over again. This like all these rappers or these celebrities that were like, oh, like, I can't shit on Diddy because he gave me my first single. They're like, oh yeah, like I can't talk about the Diddy stuff because I learned a lot from him. I made money with him. Bro, he was he's a fucking freak, bro. What are we doing? What are we doing?
The people that I met and the opportunities that I was given to
It's the same thing.
Either by him or because of him,
Yeah.
were actually very useful.
He
And he's
also
still a piece of
described
shit.
Epstein's
What are we
behavior as
talking
merely-
about? Oh my gosh, bro did not answer the question. He did not answer the question.
Coming. He's a sex offender. Maitlis, during the interview,
Very useful. I wonder how.
what he said. She said
Nature, welcome back, Nature.
he was a sex offender, and Andrew replied, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite.
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously conducted himself in a manner unbecoming?
In a manner unbecoming. Bro, say the word, fam. Say the word. He likes use. Say the word. He conducted himself in a manner unbecoming of himself.
Replied, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm being polite.
Do I regret the fact that he has quite obviously...
He can't. There's no way he can sleep at night.
Unbecoming, yes.
Unbecoming. He was a sex offender.
Exactly, bro. I'm with the lady. I'm like, huh? He didn't just spit in someone's water. He didn't just tie someone's laces up before they can put their shoes on. He didn't like spill coffee on someone on purpose. Thank you, Miss Shawi, for the heart me. Appreciate it. He actually was running a whole operation with little youths, and he said, "Oh, he was so unbecoming of him." Oh, I can't. This is comedy. Holy, I'm doing good, Miss Shawi. I'm just reacting to the idiocracy of the idiocy of what's his name, Prince Andrew.
I'm sorry.
How you doing, Miss Shawi? I like your top. Oh, thank you. It's a Bulls cardigan or like a zip.
I'm in the sense
Nature still second tapper. Holy. I don't think Delaney's catching up with you, bro.
he's a sex offender.
So to Andrew, staying at a convicted sex offender's home in 2010 was the honorable and right off as too honorable during its sense.
I might,
could never look
I
more
might
guilty
be,
than this idiot.
I might be lagging a little. No way, Laney can't. Yeah, I don't think so. It's probably gone to Netflix now.
Reaction to Andrew's interview was unequivocally and universally negative. The Guardian wrote of a grotesque mismatch between the Duke of York's language and demeanor.
Miss Shawi, have you seen this yet? It's basically a breakdown of everything that Andrew's been involved in.
The gravity.
I'm never gonna call it. He's not Prince Andrew. He's Andrew. You know, he's Andrew. Man like Andrew. Andrew Mountbatten and that.
The allegations. The interview was described as a car crash or nuclear explosion level bad and the worst royal PR crisis since the death of Princess Diana. So yes, it seems bad. And to be clear, the royal family is the furthest thing from a stranger to controversy. They've been through plenty of scandals. We'll get to that. All right, the iceberg is deep. Within 4 days, Andrew announced he was stepping back from his royal duties for the foreseeable future. In this statement, he says he continues to unequivocally regret his ill-judged association with Jeffrey Epstein, when in the interview from days before, he said he didn't regret it.
So what was the excuse when it was Jimmy Savile? That's what I want to know. Because it seems like it's happened a lot of times now.
He's so consistent. That's the thing about Andrew. He's the consistent one of the royal family. I can't stand these people. I can't watch them. I know a lot of people, they love the drama and all that shit. Something in me is like, I don't like kings and shit. I don't like it when people have two. I'm from Virginia. All right. You know Sic Semper Tyrannis is on the flag, and a woman with her tit out. There's a woman with her tit out and Sic Semper Tyrannis. It's in my blood. All right. We don't like the monarchy. I don't think many people like the monarchy, and I'm especially one of them, okay? Words definitely have meaning, but Andrew's do not. He's abandoned by everybody. Organizations abandoned him, KPMG among...
Chris Brown's from Virginia, let's go. What a coincidence. I even forgot he was from Virginia.
Others withdrew his sponsorship of the Fish at Palace scheme. Universities revoked his roles, and he became a pariah in the United Kingdom, although he still retained his titles until recently. So moving forward a bit, there are even more consequences for Andrew. In August of 2021, Virginia Giuffre filed a civil lawsuit in New York against him. And by January of 2022, after a judge rejected Andrew's motion to dismiss, Queen Elizabeth stripped Andrew of all his military titles and royal patronages, which means he lost the use of His Royal Highness. And this meant Andrew would be facing the lawsuit as a private citizen, not as a royal. Andrew settled the case with Giuffre.
Still has money though. Still has connections.
Of liability, but acknowledged that he regrets his association with Jeffrey
Chris Brown
Epstein
from Wild Nature. Let's go.
Commends the bravery of
Let's go.
And other survivors. Those are his official quotes, which his words mean nothing. So who knows? The money Andrew used to settle reportedly came largely from then Prince, now King Charles, to be repaid after Andrew sold his Swiss chalet. These words I'm saying are things I've never...
Oh, he lost his titles. He's not a prince anymore. He has to face the court as a private citizen. But then now King just lended him money. Huh? What? What's going on?
I never said. Skipping forward again, the final blow comes in October 2025 when King Charles III formally strips Andrew of all remaining titles following the posthumous publication of Giuffre's memoir. She committed suicide earlier this year. Andrew is now known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. He is no longer a prince. He was evicted from the Royal Lodge. His annual $1.3 million allowance ended, and he faces seven-figure...
Allowance? $1.3 million pocket money. That's crazy. That's crazy. Every year, you just get 1.3 million to play with.
$1.3 million allowance ended, and he faces seven-figure annual security costs.
No one of these people are flipping useless, bro. You can't even act not guilty. You can't even lie. He can't even look believable. He doesn't even look like he can turn on a washing machine. It doesn't look like he can fix a car. I doubt he knows how to change a light bulb. Like, and he's getting 1.3 million a year, and no wonder he's gonna do fuckery with it. He's got the brain of a fish, bro.
Only a $20,000 Navy pension as declared income. So that guy, I guess. A YouGov poll.
That means true. This guy is
91%. Who are those people? How could you ever rating ever recorded for a royal? The next lowest scores are Meghan Markle at 66% negative, followed by her husband Prince Harry at 58% negative. Now, why do people hate them so much? I don't know. Things are very bad for the royal family.
Dude.
Honestly, who cares? We mentioned Giuffre's memoir. Virginia died by suicide.
I be real, I don't like them.
2025, but still her.
But fair. If you like them, man, Prince Harry and Meghan, fairs. But I couldn't give a shit about them. Their love does not represent my love. I don't see myself in them. They don't speak for me. They look cringe most of the time. I don't know. Not
Their
for me.
quote is as follows. Today, an ordinary American girl from an ordinary American family brought down a...
They went from being like a royal... Wait, they could have been like a royal couple. Like, think about Diana. Think about her aura. Think about her. Think about what she did when she walked into a room. These lot want to do Netflix shows and do podcasts. Bro, I don't have time for that, bro. I don't have time.
Which is absolutely incredible and also tragic and sad and complicated.
Nobody's gonna watch that. What the
This
heck?
guy wasn't just
Not me
some
anyway.
obscure royal, by the way. Not a random cousin or a nephew in the lineage. This is the
They're not like,
son
oh, we're
queen.
gonna work on some laws in the UK. We're gonna open a charity in the UK to combat racism or like maybe prejudice, or like we're gonna do a campaign because now there's a lot of different communities that are at war, so we're gonna try to bring them. No, they're like, we're gonna go to Canada and LA and make money off Netflix. Fairs. He stood on business about his lady and said, if you don't boy, good for him.
Brother of the current king, King Charles III. And even though he's been stripped of his titles,
Good
he
for him,
technically
innit?
is still in the line of
I wouldn't
succession,
trust him
and
with
if for
nothing if
some
I was a
reason
lady.
the
I'm just saying,
people ahead of him
you leave your own country of birth. My girl would look at me different still. She said, you ran away from your family. What? Instead of staying there and like make yourself, stand tall, you ran away. Alright, fairs. My girl could never,
he'd take the throne unless Parliament removes him, which I assume they would. That would have to be some kind of insane
Yeah, he dipped in it.
Catastrophe for that to happen. So the crisis
As he
of
should.
erased Prince Andrew is only
I'm not gonna
just
lie.
the latest in a long
I'm born in
history.
Martinique. No, sorry, that's a lie. I was born in France, but I was raised in Martinique. If my Martinique family has a problem with, imagine I'm a prince or like in Martinique and my family is chatting shit. I'm not leaving my country. Are you mad? But that's how I think, innit? I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'm taking my missus, we flee into Canada. I don't know, let's say she's Ethiopian. We flee into Ethiopia. No. You're gonna have to learn to deal with this, boy.
Royal scandals that
Like now,
tensions between
obviously, I don't know how girls think about things, because like you saying he stood up for her, but his family's looking at him like a donut still, and he's a donut, fam.
and desire and just evil, and how power kind of creates that.
Them your own family. They ran you from your I can't hear it. I'm like, fuck off. I don't care, bro. I don't care what you have to say about my partner. I'm not going nowhere. I'm taking over this country. Give me the crown, and you go to the back seat, fam. What the? Oh yeah, coward. Sorry.
Couple games.
Doing what's best for his family. He's a royal. His family is us. The whole country is his family. Bro, you should stay in England, connected with your What does that have to do with me? Unless first of all, I wouldn't stay in England. I'm not English. But I see what you're trying to say. Why would I run from my own country? That makes no sense to me. Unless, like, I don't know. That makes no sense to me. Like, say the royals don't have ties in wherever he's going. So if he was scared of something happening to him, they can make it happen anywhere. They did it for Diana. They did it for that other lady that suddenly disappeared. So I don't know.
So much that I made one that
Never
I can
mind
play
those guys.
inside
What's
my
yours?
videos when I'm
Yeah, we got sidetracked, innit?
If you want to uncover the world of Grimtart, go to the App Store
You
and
got
download
sidetracked.
The Legend of Zolk. Now on Android, by the way. Go to loz.gg. It'll just take you directly to the app.
All of that to say, I'm happy for them. I'm not a hater. I just don't look up to them or anything like that.
And please,
Wait,
for
is
the
this
love
an
of God and
advert?
all things holy, your high scores on Instagram.
Gosh. That is insane. That's watermelon with the most pure.
Thank you. Paid.
Advert.
Sure. Ed. Seems the blueprint for royal decline was truly established back in 1936 with King Edward VIII. This
Damn.
Edward had the shortest reign of any monarch since the Act of Union in 1707, when England and
Seems
Scotland
like the
formally
guys don't do
united
too well, to
form
be fair.
the
Big
United
up the
Kingdom.
queens.
With a reign of only 327 days,
This is
Edward's
Chris Brown.
shockingly short rule ended when Edward
No,
chose
it's not Chris Brown.
love over duty. Edward had found love, but in a form that was controversial to the government, the church, and the public during the time. Wallis Simpson, a twice divorced American woman, was not viewed as a suitable match for a king, but the nature of how the relationship began was also controversial. The relationship between Edward and Wallis arose from an affair, as Wallis was still married to her husband when these things began, a fellow by the name of Ernest Simpson. It was a big deal at the time, but not the massive one that it would become, since the relationship had begun years earlier when Edward was only a prince. The family, of course, disapproved of the married mistress, but
His brother
it wasn't
is
like
over.
Edward was the king, so who cares? Then comes the death of King George V, Edward's father, and then Edward is now to be king.
By the king.
Wait, they didn't even win an American lady. They're like, nah, American. And then on top of that, she cheated on her husband for you. Yeah, they were like, huh?
A proclamation.
I'd be real, my mom would say the same thing, and she's not royalty. She'll be like, huh? This lady cheated on her husband to go with you, and you think she's not gonna do affairs?
Declaring His Majesty's pleasure touching
Holy.
his royal coronation and the solemnity thereon.
The affair between Edward and Wallis wasn't reported in the United Kingdom, but it was widely covered in American and European newspapers. And even when Wallis was to divorce Ernest to marry Edward, the match was still unthinkable for a king. As head of the church, it was forbidden to marry a divorced woman whose previous husband still lived. That's some biblical shit. Edward had even proposed a morganatic marriage in early December, often called a left-handed marriage.
Morganatic, relating to or denoting a marriage in which neither the spouse of lower rank nor any children have any claim to the possessions or title of the spouse. Damn, so they're like, oh yeah, they can marry, but them and the youths won't get nothing.
Which is basically you get married to someone of a way lower status than you, and they don't get anything. They don't get any rights, ranks, or property. But even this offer was rejected by the prime minister at the time. So the king was forced to choose between the crown and love, and he chose love. So
Wait,
rather
hold
than
on. The prime minister has a say on who the king. Wait, hold on. Okay, I didn't know that. Master, the prime minister stepped in and said, "Nah, you can't do that."
creating a constitutional crisis on December the 11th, King minister at the time.
It wasn't Tony Blair. This is in black and white. I think Tony
They
Blair
don't
was
get any
probably a
rights,
youth back
ranks, or
then.
property. But even this offer was
probably not
rejected
even
by
born.
the prime minister at the time. So the king was forced to choose between the crown and love.
Look at
and
this.
He chose love. So rather than creating a constitutional crisis on December the 11th, King Edward VIII broadcast a speech to the nation on the radio announcing his decision to
Oh, like
vacate
Gareth,
the throne.
my
He shared his
broski.
desire to be transparent and announcing
telling
his
me?
decision to vacate the throne. He shared his desire to be transparent and the weight of his decision. So Edward's brother, George VI, became king, and Edward lived in exile. So the new King George made the old King Edward the Duke of Windsor.
Hey, hold on. So because he decided to pick love, he had to run for the rest of his life. Oh, he's another Prince Harry. Shout out to him, innit?
So he and his new
But
wife
then what
would live
happened?
George
His-
made the
his
old
brother.
King Edward king, and Edward lived in exile. So the new King George made the old King Edward the Duke of Windsor, though he and his new wife would live primarily in France and travel around Europe, including traveling to Nazi Germany in 1937, where he and his wife had been invited and honored, even meeting with Adolf Hitler. While in Germany, Wallace was
Wait,
like
what?
a royal.
Yo! Yikes! So my man got exiled with his American wife, And then the brother that replaced them was having meetings with the Germans on some rebellious what? That can't be right. That can't be right. They should have left my bro, man. What's his name? Edward. They should have left that Edward, man. What's going on?
She had never experienced that in the United Kingdom, and even though the trip had upset American and Jewish organizations, it was a fear.
Wait, no, Edward. This is too many plot twists now. Harry did the right thing. Them lot. Why? Wait, Demi. Why are you so sure? This is my problem with Harry's fans. Why are you so sure that Harry is an angel? Why are we so sure? Why are we treating like he's one of our cousins? Is so many people. Why are we treating this guy like we know him? We don't know him. He's my cousin. We don't know this guy. 20 years from now, he might be the next Andrew. I wouldn't be surprised, but he's my cousin. You could never. Affairs. Let's take the bets. No, I'm not betting. I don't have enough proof yet. Give me a few years. I'll take a bet. That is nuts, though. That is nuts. You can't run away from what you are. You can't run away from what you are. You have to confront it. Shout out to Diana. She was the most. She wasn't even pure royal blood, but she was the most militant. She was the most militant, and she was a gal. She was a gal. Now all these, bro. You look at all these brothers in the royalty. Hey, I feel sorry for the women, boy. Them are looking like they don't have one thing going on in their brain. Bet for nice bet on will Harry become like a, well, not specifically a PDF. Will he have like a big scandal in the next 20 years, just like the rest of his family? That would be the bet. Yeah, 20 years also. Ask me again tomorrow, please. I have a think. Prince Harry, your cousin. Oh my gosh. I knew you wasn't. I knew you was too biased than me. I was like, she must have a horse in this race.
The Duchess of Windsor and I would like to thank you sincerely. Our trip through Germany has made a great impression on us.
Oh my days.
Hitler, after the fact, to thank him, he said,
The Duchess of Windsor and I would like to thank you sincerely. Our trip through Germany has made a great impression on us. Many thanks to you for the wonderful times that you have with us at the Obel Salzburg.
So you might say, well, this isn't such a big deal. This is, you know.
Not the accent, is it? This guy is hilarious. I couldn't even do the accent. Windsor?
The Duchess of Windsor and I would like to thank you sincerely.
Would like to thank you.
Our trip through Germany has made a great impression on us. Many thanks to you for the wonderful time.
Many thanks to you for the wonderful time. Many thanks to you for the wonderful time
You have with us at the Obel Salzburg.
So you might say, well, this isn't such a big deal. This is, you know, pre-World War II. We're not really sure what's going on behind enemy lines. The Nazis, you know, maybe he's just schmoozing it up and maybe...
Many thanks to you, my boy X. Many thanks to you, X. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Many thanks. You're welcome.
Really
You're
nice.
welcome.
They're all just...
Oh yeah, Nazi's leaving at 5, bro. Lenny, his training's at 5.
You know, doing their weird shit over there in Germany or whatever. But Edward and his wife's relationship with the Nazi regime would continue, eventually even seemingly implicating Edward as a traitor. Officially, Edward accepted a position as a liaison officer with the French following the outbreak of World War II, given his residence in the country, but still his...
Thank you, Demi. Bro said, why so early? Yeah, there's usually arrows that come out, but the arrows are not working. They never work for me. Thank you for the heart, me, nature. Laney, that's the time of his train. I don't think he has a choice.
Hitler and his regime was not forgotten. When France fell to Germany in 1940, Edward and his wife fled to Spain, which was then Portugal. Though it was the Nazis who arranged safe passage for Edward and Wallace from their residence to Spain and then Portugal. While in Portugal, they visited and stayed at the mansion of Ricardo Espirito Santo, a banker who allegedly dealt in stolen goods and acted as a banker to the Nazis. I don't know why I said allegedly. He's probably not going to sue me, I don't think. He's dead, I'm sure. They had at least 12 servants attending to them in their suite before Winston Churchill appointed him governor of the Bahamas in an effort to distance him from Europe and the Nazis. Total sense is that the Nazis and cut all ties with the royal family, speak out against Churchill, and so on and so forth. And then, if the Germans won World War II, they would install him as the king of the United Kingdom if it had.
Oh my goodness, this is the one plotting. Wait, that's not. Wait, hold on. That's not the original one he's talking about, right? Wait, hold on. 2240, guys. I'm getting a bit confused.
King.
By the King, a proclamation declaring His Majesty's pleasure touching His royal coronation and the solemnity thereon.
The affair between Edward and Wallace wasn't reported in the United Kingdom, but it was widely covered in American and European newspapers. And even when Wallace was to divorce Ernest to marry...
No, bro, I'm hearing this correct. It's the one that was exiled that ended up losing it. But why? So the one, Demi, the one that ended up leaving with his wife is the one that ended up losing it. Holy. History might repeat itself. He left. He picked a love, and then he started plotting with the Germans to try to take over the royal family for himself. I need to keep an eye on Harry. I don't know, and they might go to another country, you know. If we see them in Russia, you know what's going on. I hate living them times. Their sound system was whack. Oh yeah, the sound system was terrible, man. I was like, huh? Can't even hear. You can take over London anyway. No. After I leave, yes. Imagine Harry as a what? Take over London, Mayor of London. Oh, gosh. You know what? Maybe he might do right. I don't know, bro.
The match was still...
I have no faith in that guy, bro. I need to see stuff. I need to see something. All I see him is running his mouth. I need to see him, you know, deliver.
Unthinkable for a king. As head of the...
He can, after you leave, you can become Laney's problem. Facts. Guess what, lads? You're billing it.
It was forbidden to marry a divorced woman whose previous husband still lived. That's some biblical shit. Edward had even proposed a morganatic marriage in early December, often called a left-handed marriage, which is basically you get married to someone of a way lower status and cut all ties with the royal family, speak out against Churchill, and so on and so forth. And then, if the Germans won World War II, they would install him as the king of the United Kingdom if it had ever been subjugated. With some high-level vassal stuff. The official report is that Edward and Wallace had narrowly escaped a Nazi SS team that was sent to seize them before they set sail from Lisbon to go do that shit in the Bahamas.
Oh, so I'm a nitty. Bro, you asked me to guess. I guess, innit? You gave me no hints. You just said, what did this guy say? He said, lads, guess what? Yeah, no, nothing. I don't know. I'm running it, not billing it. Oh, you're running a shop. That's illegal.
Many theorize that Edward would have been quite willing to accomplish
you're doing
Nazis
what?
in British rule, which...
BRB billing it, huh? BRB sleeping, huh?
It makes sense. I mean, he got shit on massively by Parliament, the people of Britain, and so on and so forth. And historians that support this theory point to several pieces of evidence that point towards a more secretive alliance between the exiled former king and those who had welcomed him as the royalty he had been in Nazi Germany. In 1939, only months before the war broke out, he made a public address that the BBC had refused to broadcast, in which he
make sure you after this announcement you keep everything on the tight ropes. Make no announcement until everything's finalized.
The British to do everything in their power to come to terms with Nazi Germany. So if you follow that with his supposedly Nazi-arranged safe passage to Spain, then Portugal, where he stayed with the Nazi banker, the pattern starts to really take shape, and it starts to make sense. But what is seen as quite damning is...
I know you've been thinking about that one for a while. So, when it materializes, yeah, I was almost started on the word. That would be great.
Discovery of the Marburg files. The Marburg...
I'll call it loud. The bad cobra, but catch you. Bro's head is spinning. Hey, you know the SpongeBob meme when everything is spinning around SpongeBob? That's him. Or is it the crab guy? That's nice right now. The whole room is spinning.
Were Nazi correspondence captured by American soldiers, which were reviewed at Marburg Castle. And 60 pages of the files contained information and communications between the Duke of York, Edward, and the Nazis. One such page was a top secret cable from the German ambassador in Lisbon, where Edward and his wife had been staying with the banker who had Nazi connections to Berlin, which stated, "The Duke of Windsor is..."
Hey! Demi. I'm teasing Demi. You see what picking love gets you? You see what picking love over everything, even your family, gets you? Ended up collaborating with some of the worst people on earth. My goodness, I'll be real, I don't know the whole backstory. He might have thought, my family is so horrible, I have to go with the most horrible people to meet them. He must have thought, yeah, there's only one group that can take my family head on. It's the NAZI. Unfortunately, he was wrong. Not too much on my cousin. I've collabed with some of the worst people on earth. Were you? Holy. That's like collabing with the... Did you spell my name? Nah, I just... Add the I to Naz's name. That's what I meant.
That if he
add the I to your name, and that's who my man had to team up with.
Remained on the throne, war would have been avoided, and he characterizes himself as a firm supporter.
If he won this over his running with his gal into the sunset, we might have been speaking German today. I can't lie. Yeah, we might be speaking German right now.
Arrangement with Germany. The Duke definitely believes that continued severe...
Yes, X. Exactly. I heard the NAZ and my eyes went, huh? I've learned a bit of Dutch. Well, yeah. Well, don't tell them it's the same though, because German is not Dutch, right?
Would make England ready for peace. So not only does Edward state that had he been on the throne, the two nations would not be at war, he basically says keep bombing the shit out of them and then they will surrender. That's crazy. Those are his people, by the way. And in mid-September 1940...
Demi, see what happens when you leave your country. I'm gonna keep doing it. Bro Lefty said, don't worry. Do not worry. If we win this, we'll all be a big family together. Just keep bombing them, and eventually we win. Just keep dropping bomb on my neighbors and my old people that I know, and then... Holy, leave the country now. What did I do?
German Luftwaffe pilots bombed Buckingham Palace. Also part of the files were details surrounding Operation Willy, which was the Nazi scheme to kidnap and install Edward as the puppet king in Britain, since he'd been a favorable ally, especially when compared to George VI, his dastardly brother. who hated the Nazis or whatever. This seems to reveal that Edward was so bitter about his essentially forced removal from the throne to be with the woman that he loved that he was willing to throw his lot in with Nazi Germany if it could potentially see him reinstated as king. But maybe he changed his mind. I have no idea, guys. It's funny because this one starts off as like, oh, it's love. You know, he's putting love in front of his duty as a British guy or whatever and like that's kind of...
As a royal, nothing can come before your duty. If you're born in royalty, that's your fate. That's your destiny. You was born in royalty. You can't run away. You have to be royal and try to be the best you can. I'm not royal, but I'm saying, you know. No, you can't. You can't run from your destiny. That's like you're born in this. This is what happens. Not always. But if you don't have a sense of pride for where you come from, if you don't, it's like, bro, you're just, what are you? You're just an empty shell. You're just an empty shell. If you can't even pick the good ones, the good things out of what you know, you just all see it as, oh yeah, just burn it all. Boy. You can't run from destiny. You can only run towards it. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This is your mission on earth. That you was born in that family for a reason. You can think there might be some of the most effed up people in the world, but if you want to change the world, you have to be the change that you want to see. So therefore, you can't just give up. I mean, you can give up on everyone, but no one will respect you for it. You can give up on everyone and be like, oh yeah, just let me just worry about myself. Fairs. Or you can't come back and be like, oh, now I'm ready to be leading and oh, I want to change things. Nah, mate. Fate can't be escaped. You know what I'm saying? I don't want just... Kitikite is my destiny. Running to France. We already know where them is going. So if them man start this BS again, they repeat history again, them is going to France.
Interesting. It's kind of
etikete.
Movie-esque. Kind of a Nazi though. For a decade after the war ended, the story was buried thanks to collusion between British and American governments, but these files were published in 1957 and subsequently denied by Edward. He called them complete fabrication.
I know Angie's gonna cry when she's gonna learn that she missed all of this, but I might put it on replay.
And the Queen's office put out an official statement.
It's been uploading for like 2 hours.
Was subjected to
4 hours actually. I'm uploading a video on YouTube. It's halfway through now. I've been waiting for time. So let me reply to this text.
Pressure from many quarters to stay in Europe, where Germans hoped that he would exert influence against the policy of His Majesty's government. His Royal Highness never wavered in his loyalty to the British cause. The German records are necessarily a much tainted source. The only firm evidence which they provide is of what the Germans were trying to do in the matter and of how completely they failed to do it. So all that being said, Edward resigned from his post in 1945 after the war ended and never took up residence in the UK again. In fact, Edward and his wife were never formally invited by the royal family to any official public ceremony all the way until 1967 during the unveiling of a plaque dedicated to Queen Mary, Edward's mother. So this scandal, if you could call it that, stemmed from a relationship that the crown deemed inappropriate. Many of these scandals...
I thought he was going to say they were never allowed to step foot on the island ever again. In 1967, they managed to reconcile their differences. Interesting.
Stem from relationships that are deemed inappropriate. So the pattern repeats when Princess Margaret fell in love with a Royal Air Force war hero who was 16 years her senior. Peter Townsend, a fighter pilot and squadron leader during World War II, saw some of the fiercest airborne fighting during the Battle of Britain, with 14 of the 20 pilots in his squadron, the 85th Squadron, being shot down, resulting in several injuries and several deaths. The two had met when Margaret was only 14 years old, when Townsend was to be interviewed by her father, George VI, and the brother of Edward, whom we just discussed. This old man described Margaret as unremarkable,
I'm missing some.
resulting in several injuries. of the 20 pilots in his squadron, the 85th Squadron being shot down, resulting in several injuries and several deaths. The two had met when Margaret was only 14 years old, when Townsend was to be interviewed by her father, George VI, and the brother of Edward, whom we just discussed. This old man described Margaret as unremarkable, as one would expect of a 14-year-old girl. You see, it was 8 years later, when Margaret was 22 years old, that the two would fall in love. And being 16 years older than Margaret, Peter was a
Unremarkable is crazy. Why are you cussing the little girl, fam? He's going too hard. He could have just been, oh, she was cute. She dressed well. She was a funny one. She was a lively one. Bro said unremarkable. What? Is that a good thing? It just seemed like you couldn't even find a word for the little girl because you know what? I've never heard anyone describe a little girl as, oh, she was unremarkable. Wait, is that what the word was? Sorry.
Expect of a 14-year-old girl. You see, it was 8 years.
Let me Google the definition. I may be bugging. What's unremarkable meaning? Not particularly interesting or surprising. Yeah, he basically said she was. No, it's not. It means it's not particularly. What was it? I just forgot it again. What was it? Damn, I just forgot it. Not particularly interesting or surprising, yeah. So it's got nothing surprising, nothing interesting about it. That's how I was like, who describes your child like this? Like, it's almost like you're trying to give them the cold shoulder, like, you can only describe women in a sexual way. It's like, oh no, because she was, I didn't even pay attention. It's like, bro, what? And then 8 years later, all of a sudden, now you see her. Fairs, okay. It's deliberate. It's deliberate.
As
Meaning he done on
unremarkable
purpose.
as one would expect of a 14-year-old girl. You see, it was 8 years later, when Margaret was 22 years old, that the two would fall in love. And being 16 years older than Margaret,
I think he's trying to say, because he ended up being with the girl, he's basically saying, oh, when she was young, I basically wasn't looking at her. So he's
Peter was a 38-year-old guy, a 38-year-old man. But back then, the age gap was not the controversial part about the two's relationship. You see, before falling for Margaret, Peter already started a family, and he divorced his wife in November of 1952, a woman by the name of Cecil Rosemary Paul. And Cecil and Peter had 2 sons together. And similar to the situation between Edward and Wallace, Peter's divorce made him an unsuitable match for the
Not November. What happened?
Paul. And Cecil and Peter had 2, a woman by the name of Cecil Rosemary Paul. And Cecil and Peter had 2 sons together. And similar to the situation between Edward and Wallace, Peter's divorce made him an unsuitable match for the princess. Their relationship had become public after Margaret was seen flicking a piece of lint or fluff or whatever from Townsend's uniform during the coronation of her sister, Queen Elizabeth II. And during this time, divorce remained heavily stigmatized, and the shadow of Edward VIII's abdication loomed large for the British royalty. Margaret could marry Peter, but it would mean following in the footsteps of her former king, Edward, and renouncing her titles, thereby removing herself and her future children from the line of succession. But unlike Edward, Margaret chose duty, and after 2 years, she stated in 1955 that she was ending the relationship with old Pete. She said publicly, "I would like to have it be known that I have decided not to marry Group Captain Peter Townsend. I have been aware that subject to my renouncing my rights of succession, it might have been possible for me to contract a civil marriage. But mindful of the church's teaching that Christian marriage is indissoluble, and conscious of my duty to the Commonwealth, I have decided to put these considerations before any others. So yeah, interesting reasons, I guess, but royal biographer Christopher Warwick later revealed the real reason behind their love falling apart. That was she just got tired of that son of a bitch. And I quote, "But the bottom line really is that, and she said this to me, they'd been apart for 2 years. He'd been in Belgium. While there was still affection there, love was no longer strong enough for them to have married." So there's that. And aside from what's happened recently, I would say the most significant controversies to plague the royal family arose in the 1980s and 1990s, all stemming from the fairy tale relationship between Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer. Their wedding was record-breaking. Not only did it cost an estimated $170 million, but it was viewed by approximately 750 million people worldwide, and they received over 3,000 gifts with 1,400 guests.
You know what that just taught me? This just makes Andrew look even more dumb. Because this is a family that thrives in drama. This is a family that deals with drama. Drama is their middle name. And brother, no wonder they disowned him. They were like, what? There's no way he's one of us. There's no way this guy is one of us. He must be adopted. What?
My wedding that I had in April with my beautiful.
They all do drama. Since we wasn't even born.
But
That's
I'm
crazy.
nothing like Charles. All right, I've got normal fingers. But despite the extravagance, the royal family support, and
I'm not laughing.
support, the two were ultimately incompatible. The two had a 12-year age gap, and Charles' continuing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles doomed it. When they'd met, Prince Charles was 28 years old, and Diana was only 16 years old. And Prince Charles thought to himself, what a very jolly and amusing and attractive 16-year-old she was. He shared that thought in a post.
My goodness, hold on. Oh my days, let me rewind this. What did I just hear?
Ultimately incompatible. The two had a 12-year age gap, and Charles' continuing relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles doomed it. When they'd met, Prince Charles was 28 years old, and Diana was only 16 years old. And Prince Charles thought to himself, what a very jolly and amusing and attractive 16-year-old she was. He shared that thought in a post-engagement announcement interview. That's his words, not me making shit up.
Well, I remember thinking what a very jolly and amusing and attractive.
Wait, hold on. Hold on, Chad. Is this our king? Hold on. I need to hit the Googles quickly. Because I'm 99.9999999 sure. Oh my goodness. I have nothing to say.
She was.
What a wonderful 16-year-old. That's his words, not me making shit up.
Well, I remember thinking what a very jolly and amusing and attractive 16-year-old she was.
What a wonderful...
Broski's 28, man. 1 year older than I am right now. What do you mean? What was she gallivanting in the garden picking flowers? And what a jolly 16. What the fuck? What are we... Huh? He was 20. I'm 27. Yes, Yeserski. He was 28 talking about... We need to get the quote again. Hold on.
Interview. That's his words, not me making shit up.
Well, I remember thinking what a very jolly and amusing and attractive...
I allow me. Don't make me whoop you at Fortnite 101, bro. I will catch... Let me... Don't even know. I doesn't even know this meme. You have to know. You have to see it. I know X knows what I'm talking about. The Jordan meme. No. Hold on. Please, let me know. Hold up. He's a little nephew. I wouldn't call him a child. He's a little nephew. I think 17, I want to say. Hey, do you know how hard it is to remember people's ages?
My fingers are fat like sausage.
Oh, fairs.
Like
I
bangers
thought,
and mash.
when you said that, I thought you meant like,
All right. If he'd
You
have
said
said
19,
that in
18
the year
is-
2025, he'd have been crucified. The year 1992 would become a terrible year for the United Kingdom's monarch, Queen Elizabeth II, now referred to as Annus Horribilis,
it's 18.
or just a horrible year. It is a year in which the family saw multiple
Yeah,
scandals
okay, yeah.
merge into one. This big castle
Got
called the
it.
Castle Windsor would catch fire.
Nah, you did, but because I don't ask you all the time, like it slips my mind. Like obviously, I gotta remember. See what I'm saying? Dementia. I gotta remember. Laney is like 27. Demi's 29. You're 18. Angie's about 36. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ages still. I'm even blanking right now. You're not even. You're the mom. Yeah, you're not the auntie. Yo, Ty, what are you telling me, bro? And she still said child.
After a faulty
I hear.
spotlight. set
Actually,
in
no, I
Mike
don't hear it.
Rubin,
At 18, there's a lot. I knew a bit too much at 18, so.
ultimately destroying 115 rooms, including 9 staterooms. 115, dude? Are you kidding me?
Wait, hold
That-
on. I just missed what just happened. Prince Andrew documentary.
Or just a horrible year. It is a year in which the family to as Annus Horribilis, or just a horrible year. It is a year in which the family saw multiple scandals converge into one. This big castle, called the Castle Windsor, would catch fire after a faulty spotlight set a nearby curtain ablaze, ultimately destroying 115 rooms, including 9 staterooms. 115, dude?
How'd you have that
Are you
many
kidding
rooms?
me? That's right, 115. They got houses with 115 rooms. Castles, whatever. 3 of the Queen's children had marriages end that year as well.
Oh, what the fuck did you do with 115 rooms, bro?
Princess Anne divorced Captain Mark Phillips in April. Prince
That's not even
Andrew
older
and Sarah
then.
Ferguson separated in March, and Prince Charles and Diana would separate in December. Multiple scandals preceded the separation of Charles and Diana, ultimately leading to their inevitable split. Firstly, the wedding reportedly almost didn't even happen. According to Penny Thornton, an astrologer Diana had visited, Diana had told her that the night before the wedding, Charles had said he really didn't love her and didn't want to go into the wedding on a false premise, leading to Diana nearly not attending the wedding.
My brother, you're the one that went after this little you, fam. Huh?
Her friend and person.
My brother, tell me, you're the one that was seeking her out. Oh, she was just a joyful, blah, 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 blah. I won't even say it because someone might clip that. But yo, on national TV, on the BBC, on Beyonce's internet, no, so. On the BBC's TV license, bro, you said this.
Astrologer Penny Thornton reveals the claim, saying it was one of the most shocking things Diana ever told her.
Of course, they went through with it, but it was not a happy union. Charles
Chris
deeply
Brown's
insecure
internet,
once
my
he
bad.
realized that Diana was becoming known as the People's Princess and that she was far more popular than he was. He's kind of a bitch. According to Lady Elizabeth Anson, a cousin of Queen Elizabeth II, Diana sort of metamorphosed into a very, very elegant blonde beauty. They did a visit to Wales, which was the beginning of, for Prince Charles, realizing they've come out to see my wife. They haven't come out to see me. Oh, poor little guy.
Cry about it. What?
Imagine living in the shadow of your wife. But here's where things get epic. Both begin.
More me time. Less pictures to take. I can just chill in the background. You go, girl. Do your thing. Yes. I'm just gonna go. Bro was competing with his gal. He said, "Oh, they didn't come to see me. I'm the prince."
having affairs. Charles, with his ex Camilla Bowles, and Diana supposedly had a 5-year relationship with her riding instructor, cavalry officer Captain James Hewitt, who suspiciously bears a striking resemblance to her son, Prince Harry. And
does he?
Suspiciously,
oh, the nose.
With her riding instructor, cavalry officer Captain James Hewitt, who suspiciously bears a striking resemblance to her son, Prince Harry. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm full in on that conspiracy theory. Diana even reportedly confronted Camilla at a party hosted by a mutual friend, but still, everything came to a head when the long-suspected rocky marriage drama went public in 1992, exacerbating the annus horribilis. In June of 1992, a book written by author Andrew Morton was published titled Diana, Her True Story. It revealed that, with Diana's secret cooperation, that she struggled with bulimia, attempted suicide several times, and detailed the affair between Charles and Camilla, as well as her deep unhappiness. It sold millions of copies and decisively shifted public opinion in favor of her. She was the ordinary girl who had been brought into the royal family just to be discarded for the prince's ex-girlfriend. It was even later adapted into a TV movie. And in August of 1992, just 2 months after this, Squidgygate exposed a phone call between Diana and actor James Gilby, who called her Squidgy, meaning soft and easily squashed. Diana complained about the family, expressed pregnancy concerns, and confirmed she was having an affair with Gilby.
It's wonderful, isn't it? This is a feeling. Do you like it?
I love it. I love it.
It is absolutely wonderful. It's years. I feel about 21 again.
Well, you're not at 33.
I know.
The tapes were given to the Sun, and a phone line
What
was
are they
set up
talking
where
about?
you could call and pay to listen. And over 120,000 callers paid to hear the tape. This is pre-internet. This is like a YouTube drama in 1992. You can get people to pay to do that shit? That's crazy. When the tapes leaked, according to Ken Worf, the princess's former bodyguard, the queen was so upset that she personally ordered MI5 to conduct an internal investigation.
Maybe she saw it and buyer wanted to claim that. I guess. That's a possibility, to be honest. I'd pay to hear some of my phone calls back. Oh gosh, no. Maybe after a certain time. Maybe anything after 20, maybe. Oh gosh, I don't want to hear my phone calls when I was 14, 15. So, oh, the cringe. I don't even know what I said, but I don't want to hear it.
Bugging of Princess Diana. That MI5 is their version of the CIA, by the way.
Bro,
And concern
the cringe. 14, 15, 16, nah. I never want to hear them. The way I've gone in on people, I'd give my wage. You had some different phone calls, boy. Oh boy, nah. Yeah. Maybe anything after 20 years old I'll be fine with. I was talking to people about changing religion, or we not getting married at the age of 40. Holy. Hey. Hey, Naz, that is funny. People getting cooked on my phone calls. Yeah, that I would pay for that still. I don't remember cooking anyone on the phone still. Nah, I don't think so. Nah.
surveillance of the royal family would only deepen that November of 1992 following Camilla Gate.
You used to do
Squidgygate
prank
was a
calls.
leak on the phone
You was one of them brothers, fam. People used to do prank calls on me, fam. She used to piss me off. 1 a.m. Sometimes they'll do, I'm not gonna lie, they'll do South Asian accent. Try to move like a takeaway. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Or like they try to do a gal voice, or like one time they try to act like it was beef. It's like, yo, what you said? Something about, oh, you know my sister. I was like, bro, what is going on, fam? Until bail conditions said I'm not even allowed to hold the phone. Damn. Trying to sound like Nas. Who, me? I think one time I sent a voice note to Angie, and I listened to it back, and I was like, oh no. Like that one voice note sounded like Nas. I was like, no. When Angie said, I think she actually agreed, and then I was like, yeah, I blame Nas. He's influencing me a bit too much.
Involving Diana, it would only be right that a phone call involving Charles also gets leaked. Camilla Gate, also known as Tampon Gate, was a call between Charles and his ex-mistress, Camilla Bowles. The transcript of the 1989 call exposed the affair in shocking detail, as the way they spoke to each other would in no way
my
have happened
video's
if
still
they'd
uploading.
known the call was being
I
monitored.
do rub off on
It's
people,
really weird
don't I?
that this is a thing that's just publicly
Yeah,
available.
yeah,
I feel
a
kind
little.
of bad reading it, but I'm going to anyways. Here are some brief excerpts from the call.
Unsubconsciously.
Camilla,
Wait, what?
you're awfully good feeling your way along. Charles, oh
Nonsense.
stop. I want to feel my
Yeah,
way
you know what I
along you,
meant.
all over you, and up and down you, and in and out.
Wait, what?
Feel my way it, but I'm going to anyways. Here are some brief excerpts from the call. Camilla, you're awfully good feeling your way along. Charles, oh stop. I want to feel my way along you, all over you, and up and down you, and in and out.
Is this how they used to do like dirty talking back in the days? This is their version of sexting. Oh, that's cute still.
Charles, particularly in and out. Camilla, oh, that's just what I need at the moment. Charles, I fill up your tank. Camilla, yes you do. Charles, oh God.
I'm not gonna lie, this is low-key risen though. This is aura farming now. This is aura farming. Because I feel like the more explicit it is, the less interesting it is. And the more like coded it is, the more like interesting it is, yeah. Yeah, I'll fill up your tank just took me out. I can't like I wasn't expecting that. And what did she say?
At the moment. Charles, I fill up.
Yes, you do. Alright. Hey, these are getting freaky. I command out to boss it. Open, milady. Golly.
Yes, you do. Charles, oh God, I'll just live inside your trousers or something. It would be much easier. Camilla, laughing. What are you going to turn into? A pair of knickers? Charles and Camilla.
Nah, these lot got bars. I can't lie. These lot got bars still.
Were made aware of the tape recording, though never believed it would see the light of day. And that changed on November 13th, 1992, when the scandal went live. It definitively confirmed Charles' adultery and devastated his reputation. It raised red flags about the
hold on.
Thank you so much, Demi, for the 11,000 likes. Thank you so much, Nature, for the 1,400 likes. Thank you, Lainey, for the 356 likes.
Of Charles and the royal family as a whole, and this was the family that was supposed to be the shining example of honor and duty to the people of the United Kingdom, whatever the symbolism nonsense. You see, it's kind of unclear to me, but the monarch for the United Kingdom is the head of the church. And throughout the Bible, I don't know if you've read the Bible, but Christians are told to honor their wives, and divorce is bad. Divorce is pretty bad, it seems, I've read. And here is the heir to the throne being exposed for doing anything but honoring his wife. The relationship didn't survive the scandal, and in December 1992, Diana and Charles separated and divorced later in 1996. Diana received $17 million, but the loss of her title, Her Royal Highness. Kind of a good trade-off, if you ask me. Then tragically, the next year, on August 31st, 1997, Diana died in a Paris tunnel when her driver, Henry Paul, who was 3 times over the legal alcohol limit, crashed the car while fleeing paparazzi. She was only 36 years old, and while the country mourned the death of the people's princess, the royal family...
Yeah, I take the money, but I won't take that drunk driver, fam.
just remained coldly silent.
R.I.P.
The royal
Diana,
family had been
bro.
staying at Balmoral
Holy.
Castle in Scotland when Diana died in the accident. Her sons were staying there as well. And the majority of the family chose to stay at Balmoral rather than return to London, which sparked public backlash. The perceived coldness towards the people's princess threatened the monarchy's standing as people demanded the Queen show us you care. It was an entire movement. It was only when Queen Elizabeth returned to London and made a televised address praising Diana that public outrage began to subside.
I admired and respected her for her energy and commitment to others, and especially for her devotion to her.
This is what you call a monarch. The monarchy, this is what you call a monarch. I could be wrong. It could be the worst people on earth. I don't think I believe her, but the people believed her, Demi. Do you know who the people didn't believe? A leader.
Boys.
Someone that can speak, and then people they're like, oh, maybe, you know what, maybe she's right. We calm down. You know what, we won't burn down the whole country.
Estimated 2.5
The people will
billion
believe me.
people.
Let me get on the news. Don't shout at them, please. Don't shout at them. Yes, Kush, what are you telling us? Kush the far right. Kush the far right. Oops, I muted it. Did I mute this? Yep.
Vision and people wanting to tune in.
I don't even know how to show.
5 billion people, by the way.
You see how
Diana.
composed she was?
Five.
She probably couldn't stand her. Look at her face.
For her
Poker
energy
face.
and commitment to others, and especially for her devotion to her 2 boys.
An estimated
The people in the TV were like, oh, how sweet of her. Oh, we didn't expect any less from our queen.
2.5 billion people worldwide tuned in to watch the funeral held for Diana. The tragedy forced the monarchy to modernize and show more emotion publicly because of television and people wanting to tune in. 2.5 billion people,
Yes,
by the way,
X.
is almost half of the world's
Back in this
population
beat.
in 1997. Just so you're aware. And of course, Charles, the current king now in 2025, would go on to marry his ex-mistress that he had during his marriage to Diana. He married Camilla, his ex-mistress, in 2005. So since then, he's been able to live out his dream of being her tampon. And believe it or not, the wedding between Charles and Camilla was also controversial, considering that Camilla, like many of the other previous controversies, still had a living ex-husband. To be fair, the stigma surrounding divorce had diminished largely by 2005, but still existed, and it resulted in the Queen not attending the civil service where they exchanged their
That's
vows.
funny, isn't
So
it?
Charles and Camilla's wedding in 2005 wasn't the only controversy that the royal family faced. Prince Harry, son of Diana and Charles, would land them in the crosshairs of people opposed to the monarchy when he attended a costume party dressed in a Nazi uniform. Opposed them.
You in London? Holy.
Prince Harry,
Wait, what are you doing in London?
son of Diana and 5, wasn't the only controversy.
Where did you come from? Sheffield. Oh, my
that the
memory's
royal
failing
family
me
faced.
again.
Prince Harry, son of Diana and Charles, would land them in the crosshairs of people opposed.
So is this
Prince
who is
Harry,
that?
son of Diana and Charles, would land
This
them
is
in
Prince
the
Harry.
crosshairs of people opposed to the monarchy when he
Holy.
attended a costume party dressed in a Nazi uniform, just days before Holocaust Memorial Day. There was a lot of outrage during this.
Holy.
The outrage was not restricted to just the United Kingdom. In fact, 25 European countries began an outright ban of Nazi imagery and symbols in the
still trying to
wake
think.
of the scandal. To be fair, I don't think he was following.
What's happening? Listen, what did I just join to? I'll come to see my girl. Oh, how nice of you. How's it going? Hey, Kush, don't kill me, yeah. I actually forgot where you live. I won't forget again. You just have to repeat it one more time. I won't forget.
In the footsteps of his great-granduncle Edward with this choice. It was just a stupid
No, I said don't. See, I should have lied. Or Kent. See, guys, man, them in the chat, take notes. Just lie, it's better. Holy. Kent, alright, cool. It's noted now. It's noted. I'll register that one. Wait, are you staying over in London then? There's no way you're going back to Kent tonight.
Stupid decision. I mean, it is pretty.
Ty said you're my favorite Bangladeshi ex-Jamaican person. How many do you know?
To be like a royal, you know, and wear that. It's kind of dumb to do that in anyways, but like to be a royal and do it is especially dumb. So he apologized profusely, and there are actually a few similarities between him, his situation, his whole Nazi thing, and his granduncle. Him and his granduncle both married American women. They both eventually renounced their titles, and maybe they're both.
Wait, what did he say? Oh, he said you're his favorite Bangladeshi and Jamaican person, and I was like, how many of them do you know? And he said none. Can you believe him? Oh my gosh. Oh, wait. That's not. Oh, sorry. Before that, I was saying, are you staying over at your friend's house? Because there's no way you're going back to Kent tonight.
I'm not totally sure. On January 8th, 2020, Harry and Meghan Markle, which is
okay,
Harry's
makes sense.
American bride.
We just been watching the Prince Andrew doc. I need you to 2 or 3. I think 2. However, at 7 p.m. Raw, that's late. Golly.
Announced via Instagram their intention to step back as senior members of the royal family. They did so without consulting the Queen, Charles, or William. The announcement came as a complete surprise to the family and sparked intense media coverage. The Sandringham Summit followed this on January 13th, where the royal family met to discuss the decision made by Harry and Meghan. Ultimate decision was that Harry and Meghan would not use the titles Royal Highness and would not represent the Queen officially and would repay $2.4 million.
Wait, they didn't give up the titles though. I swear. So they don't want to be royals anymore, but I swear this lady done an interview and they called her like Royal Duchess or something. Yeah, like Duchess of something. You don't get to leave. You don't get to F off and then call yourself a Duchess. You can't have both.
Taxpayer money spent on.
And that goes for Harry too. You can't just call himself a duke.
That shit is so funny to me. Are you? It's funny to Frankie too. The taxpayer money is spent on their shit. Are you kidding me?
Why am I not live first?
In their March 2020,
we ain't getting enough points, bro.
We
ain't getting enough points. Not enough gifts. I didn't make it around to you.
Resulted in even more controversy for the family when it was revealed that a senior royal had questioned what color skin Archie, the son of Harry and Meghan, would have.
And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What? It implicated racial discrimination from the family, though Harry's brother, Prince William, responded by saying, "We're very much not a racist family, so I believe him."
And can you just let me know, is
I definitely believe
family a racist family, sir? We're very much not a racist family.
Harry's January 2023 memoir, Spare, became the fastest-selling non-fiction book since UK book record-keeping began, revealing
this guy writes books. I didn't even know that.
Altercation with William and criticism of Camilla as dangerous and drug use admissions. So they seem to be at odds, to be honest. The relationship between Harry and the rest of the family is completely fractured, and their popularity in the UK has plummeted. They're like American. They're Yankees, basically, at this point. There is a noticeable trend that we have seen here. Each generation of royals since record-keeping began, not really, they all repeat the same story. Forbidden love, public scandal, desperate insistence that they still matter. We're the royals. Please, we'll pay back the taxpayer money. Willingly, I guess. From everything we've talked about, the royal family seems less and less like a virtuous symbol of purity or a powerful family and more like a big joke. It's supposed to harken back to the glorious days of the British Empire at its peak, but to me and many others, it's like a privileged snob keeping up with the Kardashians, but somehow even more cringe reality show. But they're not the Kardashians. Their houses are built with taxpayer money. So there's a critical question that we have to ask. What the f does the royal family actually do? On paper, the monarch performs several constitutional functions, but they are purely procedural. Before a bill becomes a law, it must receive a royal assent. It's the monarch's way of signing off on the bill, showing that they stand with the decisions made by the parliamentary body, which is good. At least there's the parliamentary body. The monarch has the right to refuse royal assent, but the last time that happened was before the American Revolution.
Damn.
In fact, most people that were alive when this happened, when Queen Anne refused to grant royal assent to the Scottish Militia Bill in 1708, they were probably dead by the time America declared its independence. That's over 300 years since the last time the royal family exercised one of its powers or actually stopped something or tried to. The monarch has no discretion to refuse a bill that Parliament wishes to pass. In 1910, Prime Minister Herbert Asquith described the monarch's ability to veto legislation as literally as dead as Queen Anne, which is a really funny way to put that it doesn't exist. The monarch is also responsible for formally appointing prime ministers, and that said, they must appoint whoever can command confidence in the House of Commons. So essentially, this piece of parliament supports one member for PM, the leader of the majority part, then the monarch must appoint them. So it's more formality bullshit. So what powers do they have? It seems like most of the things I've mentioned are not actually powers. They're just formalities. Well, the monarch can prorogue or suspend or dissolve parliament, but it's not like, I don't wish for this to be a democracy anymore, so I'm getting rid of parliament. I'm the king now, for real this time. A quick crash course.
You're tired, my bro. You might as well go to bed, bro. If you're tired. I'll be done here soon anyway. Thank you for joining our history lesson. Our history class.
Functioning from an American who is currently in the
You got about 10 minutes left.
Our very own prorogue government shutdown. America separates its powers from the different operate independently. All of this. The prime minister comes from the parliament and can be removed by it. Where the United States government becomes a tug of war between its branches, the British government behaves more like a chain of command. Voters elect a parliament, parliament forms the government, and the prime minister, the leader of the majority party, leads the parliament. American presidents can't be fired. They can be impeached and removed that way, or they can be replaced in the next election. Now, obviously, if they're impeached, they have to commit a crime, abuse their power, or be a felon maybe, or something along those lines. There's misconduct. The Prime Minister of Britain could be removed tomorrow with a single successful vote of no confidence from the parliamentary body. Parliament can also be dissolved, but that's not even really comparable to a government shutdown like in the US. This is a regular occurrence that happens in the UK, usually before a general election. Whenever Parliament is dissolved, all 650 members lose their seats, leaving them all vacant, including the prime ministers, which are then filled through the democratic vote. The monarch is the one who dissolves the parliament, but can only do so at the request of parliament. And the same applies to the prorogation of parliament, the suspension of parliament. So it's more of a ceremonial role. It sounds cool. It's hard work for a monarch doing all this ceremonial bullshit that shouldn't exist, and they're rich. They're so rich and they use taxpayer money. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't get it. It seems so dumb. It seems so unbelievably stupid to me. And I don't like it at all, and I think it's cringe. The guy with the big fat sausage fingers is the current monarch, but the constitutional function that he serves is entirely symbolic. He just costs taxpayers money. And if this fat-fingered goober were to ever withhold a royal assent from a bill, or
why can't he give half his money away to do something useful, bro?
Or refuse to appoint a prime minister who had the confidence of the House of Commons, it would immediately create a constitutional crisis that would probably result in there no longer being any reality in which the monarchy has anything to do with politics, if not maybe even end the monarchy entirely, because it would be really bad. All right, guys. The most real and practical power the monarch has is a diplomat who hosts leaders of other countries, such as when Charles hosts Trump or Zelensky. But obviously, a prime minister could also do that. It's just, you know, the guy's fingers are fatter or whatever. So the monarch has no real political power, is a total joke, and costs taxpayers money. It's ceremonial duties, rubber stamping what parliament decides already through an elective democratic process. The royal family cuts ribbons at hospital openings, and they inbreed and fuck each other to maintain some kind of strange royal bloodline. They're essentially just celebrities or movie stars or reality TV stars, but they receive the benefits of taxpayer funding because of whose balls they shot out of. It's pretty wild, dude. So to me, an American, it makes no sense. But there are some people who defend the idea of the royals. And the most persistent defense of the monarchy is economic. They bring in more than they cost
Damn
through tourism.
me.
You'll hear large figures thrown around. 500 million,
I've been left
1.8
alone.
million, even absurd claims of
Everyone's getting tired.
$19 billion somehow contributed annually. And these numbers are repeated so much that they're simply accepted as fact by some, but an anti-monarchy campaign group is showing that the mighty castles are built on a house
I'm
of
shattered by
cards.
my
Let's
work.
start with the official costs, the publicized
You got
costs,
2
like
hours
the
left.
sovereign grant.
You can
According
do it.
to the Sussex Royal
Only 2 hours left.
The sovereign grant is the annual funding mechanism of the monarchy covering the work of the royal family. Essentially, the royal family receives state funding to maintain royal residences such as Buckingham Palace and Windsor Castle. They pay staff salaries, cover security and ceremonial event costs, and also cover their travel expenses. And in exchange, they receive the revenue from the properties the Crown Estate owns, although the Crown still retains a portion of that revenue as well. The sovereign grant given to
This
the
man
royal
is just
family for the
finessing
year of
money.
2024 to 2025 was $86.3 million. And for the year of 2025 to 2026, it's been raised by 53% to $132 million. And it's expected to rise further. You know, the cost of living is going up for everyone, including the royal family. $100 million, dude. For reference, in 2012, when the sovereign grant was introduced, the grant amount was only $31 million. So a rise from 31 to 132 million
heck?
is a 326% increase in the state funds that they receive. While inflation in the UK rose 40 to 50%.
Why are they
over
giving
the same
them
period.
all that
So,
money, bro? This
I don't
is
know.
a
That's the official
scam, bro.
cost, by the way. If a forensic
This
accountant
is a
actually
scam.
went in,
Whilst you're at work breaking your back off, these people are just getting millions just cause my man's auntie fucked my man's uncle, so it makes him that he's a royal. And then this one had sex with that one, so therefore you gotta pay everything for him. What? And I'd be real, I wouldn't even have an issue with it if they were actually doing something. They're not doing fuck all. Like, they just broke it down, and there's probably more details. They're not doing nothing. Absolutely nothing. At least if they were like bus fares and stuff, by investing some of their money, or the money that we give them, but they don't even do that.
and you know, pinch the pennies
Don't
and
even
count
do
the
that.
pennies or whatever the actual cost could be far higher and far more sinister. The Republic, an anti-monarchy group, has attempted to uncover the actual numbers, and their analysis found that the true annual cost to UK taxpayers could be about $510 million. That number comes from the security costs for 24 homes, profits from the duchies of Lancaster and Cornwall, which should be public revenue, costs for local councils, transportation costs for
£500 million a
routine
year.
use of helicopters, private jets, Royal Air Force jets, unpaid taxes, and lost opportunity costs, since many of the properties could generate far more revenue if they were fully open to the public. Plus, all the ceremonies are state funded. The coronation of King Charles III alone cost $72 million. 21 million of that was just for police security. Remember, Prince Harry and Meghan spent $2.4 million in taxpayer money on Frogmore Cottage renovations, which they only agreed to pay back after they wanted to be Americans, I guess. And there's Prince.
Wait, they've spent $2 million on what?
Meghan spent $2.4 million in taxpayer money on Frogmore Cottage renovations, which they only agreed to pay back after they wanted to be Americans, I guess. Then there's Prince William and Kate Middleton's wedding, $34 million with 33.
Why are you not renovating your crib with your own peas? Why do you have to take... I don't understand. Why do you have to take the taxpayers' money to renovate your crib? What are we doing here? Normal people have to use their own money to renovate their own house. 99% of the world, that's what they do. They get their own money and they renovate the house. Or they borrow money and then they renovate the house and then they have to pay it back.
Of that being the estimated cost.
These
of
guys are
security.
just stealing
It's the same
money.
thing with Prince Harry and
Just
Meghan Markle and their
finessing
wedding. $43 million of their $45 million wedding
Holy.
was like snipers and police and
It's entertainment purposes only. Yep.
drones and bombs. Now,
Everything is allegedly.
tourism claims. The frequently cited £500 million figure from Visit Britain, the Republic...
I haven't forgotten where I live, Demi. I'm still very much in this country. Good morning, Natasha. You made it towards the end of it, but you made it. Yeah, we got about 3 minutes left. It's been very interesting. How was your day? And how's your night going? You just got in. That's not too bad. 1 a.m. You must be shattered though. It's Friday. I just realized. Golly.
And discovered Visit Britain's own research department told their press office they had no evidence the economy would benefit from royal events. That 500 million figure is also highly deceptive. It's the product of adding up the revenues from all ticketed attractions that have ever had a remote connection to the royal family over the fucking centuries. That includes the Tower of London, where the royals haven't lived for centuries. Hampton Court Palace, also vacant for centuries. And other historic sites that would exist with or without a living monarchy that costs tens of millions.
So they're just paying money to just keep those flipping buildings. You can make a museum from it. You can make a mall. You can make, God knows, you can make ice rink for ice skating. You can make so much things, and these are just sitting on it. It's just wasting money. Yeah, yeah. Why not? Have you not seen Alexandra Palace? Alexandra Palace. They do events there. They have an ice rink there. It used to be a palace, right? How knackered now? How was your day? My day was calm, you know. Not too bad. Did some gaming earlier. Then I went to my client around the corner. Came back, got some fries, and then I hopped on live. Thank you for the go popular, Natasha. We don't need an ice rink. Listen, it was just a suggestion. I mean, it could be something else. It could be anything else, literally.
Dollars to the taxpayers.
Anything but spending millions to keep a building standing that no one lives in.
Even if that $500 million figure were legitimate, it would still be insignificant, especially if the estimated cost of maintaining the royal family is even close to being accurate. It seems like bullshit.
Nice, yeah, not too bad.
In the UK earned
I got some loaded fries with jalapenos and what did you crunchy onions, dried
in
onions.
2019,
whatever they're
20
called.
billion being from heritage tourism. That means
And
that
chives.
the royal family of 0.1% of the total economy. Embarrassing! And now I'm about to shout out the French.
So they don't even make us money. The money that the royals bring to the country by them being royals, so people visiting places and things like this, is 0.01% of the money we make in the UK. Golly. Them man are useless. Demi, what did I say? They can't turn on the washing machine. This is where it is. If you can't turn on your washing machine. You can't bathe yourself. You can't turn on a light. You can't flip and open your own door. You don't know how to change the light bulb. How the flip you gonna find a way to make money for the country? You can't. You can only spend it.
0.01% of the total economy.
Yum.
Embarrassing! And now I'm
It
about
was
to
nice,
shout
it
out
was
the
nice.
French, which is even more embarrassing for me. But
Preach,
the French
come on.
comparison is devastating. The palace.
You can't open. They can't even open their own door. They're scared of the doorknob. They don't even take out their own trash. They don't even know where the bins are. I bet they don't even know where the bins are. They live in a crib. They've never seen the bins. Can you believe? And now the country's looking like a trash can. No, they're not gonna clean it. They want nothing to do with it. Come through France. Oh damn, he's about to shout at the French.
Which is even more embarrassing for me. But the French comparison is devastating. The Palace of Versailles, located in a republic without a reigning monarch, attracted 8.4 million visitors in 2023. That is 3 times more than all UK royal palaces combined, which managed just 2.75 million visitors in 2023 to 2024.
You see what I'm saying? Useless. What's the point of having these palaces? What's the point? France, your little brother. technically. They're meant to be our little bro. They don't even have a king, and there's more people going to visit the castle than here. And they haven't had kings for hundreds of years. No, for 100 year plus, I think. I don't remember exactly what.
Buckingham Palace, still occupied and therefore only open about 12 weeks per year, received just 646,000 visitors in 2024. Windsor Castle, the most popular royal residence, doesn't even crack the top 20 on the UK's most visited attractions list. Those stones out there get more people. And big old rocks. Hate to break it to you fools, but the tourists aren't coming to see the royals. They're coming to see the historic beauty of the buildings that are there. And all that.
Even in Egypt, the pyramids get more flipping visitors than that. And the country of Egypt is not doing well.
Still exist if the monarchy were gone. Graham Smith, the chief executive for Republic, the anti-monarchy group we've been talking about, believes that the rising anti-establishment mindset with younger generations will ultimately spearhead the undoing of the monarchy. And we will continue to see support for figures like this fall over time, which, you know, that support will go to YouTubers and influencers online who are the modern monarchy. All right, guys, we need your support. Now I need taxpayer money. Just kidding. It is just entertainment, and it has been for a very long time. As an American, I feel like the monarchy would just be better off gone. All right, guys, I don't really give a fuck about it. You know, I don't think it does any good. Seems like they're all a bunch of scandalous deviants. Seems like they're all pieces of shit, to be honest with you. Not a single awesome thing have I seen any of them do. They all cheat on each other. So, you know, why? We have a goofy ass government here in America, but at least we can, you know, tar and feather them. We can't. We can't. Yet. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed.
Bro said, yeah. Oh my days. He's flexing on us. He's literally just shot on us. He basically said the whole thing is dated. It don't work. You don't know what you're doing. And worse things comes to worse, even in my own country, we can take the pew-pews and then go brazy if we want to. You guys can't do that. Bro just shot on us. He was like, yeah. Golly. Yep.